I think there's so much negative poisoning. I see so many negative people are poisoning the mind. They've come out with something called red flags and X and stuff. So if a
Oh,
guy does this, it means he's not real. But I think some situations are not the same. It might be this, but in my situation, it might mean this. And people have made it so clear if a guy doesn't do this, if a lady doesn't do it's a red flag. You don't need to move on with if a lady doesn't do this. And I think those things I think it is and it is eating people's minds. I go online, I see young guys, they post about girls are not real. Every girl is a cheat. Every girl they are posting videos and stuff, and in their minds, it is already in their minds that oh, this person is not even real. They are like any other girl. Let me just play. Oh, they are like any other guy because we've been fed with a lot of negativity.
negativity. Yeah.
There's a lot of I go online and everybody is talking. Men are talking ill about women, and women are talking ill about men. I'm like, so what is really, really happening? So if we are eating this right now, if a person does this, it means he's not this. I think we shouldn't pay much attention to that. What do you
Bro,
think?
I'm telling you, in my opinion, 100% fact, red flags is killing a lot of relationship
Sure.
and preventing a lot of good relationship
Yes,
from even
of course.
starting.
Starting. Yes.
Then the behavior they are calling red
Red
flag is
flags. Yes. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yeah. This is your boy Say man. I'm here with my brother.
Fifi Edu.
Yes, today we want to discuss about why it has become so hard for people to stay in a relationship, maintain that relationship, grow that relationship, make that relationship work. And we just want to find out how it has become so hard that people are not ready to fight for relationship anymore. They are not ready to, claim what is theirs. They are just there and they watch everything go away. So yes, as we are men, we want to go in depth in our minds and find out why it has become hard to maintain a relationship. So yes, we will share our ideas and you comment your ideas too in the comment section. Make sure you like, you subscribe. Okay, so yes, bro,
Yeah,
how far now?
cool.
Charlie, relationship no they work these days.
If I stand here and I say that I have a solution to this problem, I'll be the biggest liar in this country. It differs from people to people, but in my experience, in my cases, I think the problem that I saw was too much alternative. Yeah,
Okay,
people
alternatives.
that I was in a relationship with had so many alternatives, and there are so many ideas being pumped into their head from friends and family and so on and so forth. So I think we are looking at the perception we have in entering a relationship alone in the first place is wrong. And so eventually, when the foundation is not laid properly, eventually the whole building will collapse on itself. I'm not surprised that lots of relationship or marriages are heading towards divorce because right from the onset, we've entered into the relationship, into the marriage with the wrong perception, the wrong motive, and the wrong ideas. So, bro, it's not easy. I'm not
So
surprised a lot of people are not married.
so to say people are in a relationship but they have people in mind or they have other partners they have in mind that okay, any small thing if this person mess up, I'm moving on to this guy or I'm moving to this lady because they think they have options to just move on to another person, so they are not willing to work on the one they are in. They are just there so that if any small thing they will just have to they want to move to a different partner. Is that what the options mean?
It's not like it can happen. There will be people that um I remember back in the days, you know, we saw relationships. people that had alternative. I mean, they were in a relationship and they'll be like, okay, this guy gives me money, but this guy gives me the affection, so I'm going to stay with the two of them and see which one will fit for the future and so on and so forth. It's so happening in this era, and as a matter of fact, now it is very worse. It's very visible, and people just don't care. Even the married men, they have side chicks, they have people that they want to sleep with anytime they want. They have people that they just want to relax and talk with. And then they have the wives in the house that they go and they know the wives will serve them food and so on and so forth. We don't go into the relationship to commit. We go into the relationship to see if it's going to work out. And then we go in with all this heap of expectation for the guy to meet, for the lady to meet. And so, in the very moment that the lady is not able to meet the expectation that we stepped into the relationship with, we are out. Unlike previously or back in the days where you have to work, technology these days, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Tinder, you can go on a lot of dating sites, and then you meet anybody that fits your emotions around that moment or fits your prescriptions around that moment, and then bam, you call the person. If it is sex you want, sex is not cheap. You can have the sex and then you go your own way, and the two of you will not have to meet each other again and so on and so forth. So there is no commitment in that. Unlike back in the days where you walk towards this person, you are calling the lady and then you are buying stuff. I mean, you constantly make a conscious effort to visit the lady and then ensure that the lady sees you the way you want her to see you, and in the end gives you the chance to show your real love to the person, and then hope it ends up in the way that you expect it. For instance, there are people. I'm not saying this is wrong, but then there are people that would meet a lady and think of marrying the lady, but would be like, um, I'm a Presbyterian, you're a Catholic. If I marry you, will you join my Presby? If the lady says yes, good. If the lady says no, that alone becomes a qualification for the guy to dissolve the relationship, which is very terrible and doesn't make sense. Because if the two of you believe in the God that you're serving and it's the same God, I mean, you can be in your church, I can be in my church. Even the Bible says, for the sake of peace, if you find an unbeliever and you love the unbeliever, marry the person, the two of you be at peace with each other. So it's similar to that situation where people go into a relationship and then they are expecting like maybe the lady to follow them to all other events. For instance, if you meet an indoor person, an introvert person, and you are an extrovert, and you expect the lady to follow you to all the parties that you go, when the lady says no, I don't like going out, then that gives you the grounds to dissolve the relationship. Whereas if you want to, if you have the intention of going into the relationship to commit to its success, then okay. So I know you are an introvert person. You are not an outgoing person. You are not a party lady. But I would love for you to at least once every month follow me as my wife, as my fiancée, or as my girlfriend to one party, which is very important for me. Then you'll be willing to commit, and then know what your lady also wants. And so if you commit to her, then she's also going to commit
So
to you.
yes, it's a matter of commitment. There's less commitment. People do not commit.
No,
They
no,
just enter, see things, and then they just sleep. They are not willing to, work things out. So that can also be a factor
exactly.
to that. So I think it's a very big thing, commitment. People not willing to, face issues and solve them and move on in the relationship. They just, just a little thing. And also, there's this thing called, I think there's so much negative poisoning. I see so many negative people are poisoning the mind. They've come out with something called red flags and X and stuff. So if a
Oh,
guy does this, it means he's not real. But I think some situations are not the same. It might be this, but in my situation, it might mean this. And people have made it so clear if a guy doesn't do this, if a lady doesn't do it's a red flag. You don't need to move on with if a lady doesn't do this. And I think those things, I think it is and it is eating people's minds. I go online, I see young guys, they post about girls are not real. Every girl is a cheat. Every girl, they are posting videos and stuff, and in their minds, it is already in their minds that, oh, this person is not even real. They are like any other girl. Let me just play. Oh, they are like any other guy. Because we've been fed with a lot of negativity.
Negativity, yeah.
There's a lot of I go online and everybody is talking. Men are talking ill about women, and women are talking ill about men. I'm like, so what is really, really happening? So if we are eating this right now, if a person does this, it means he's not this. I think we shouldn't pay much attention to that. What do you
No,
think?
I'm telling you, in my opinion, 100% fact, red flags is killing a lot of relationship
Sure.
and preventing a lot of good
Yes,
relationship from even
of course.
starting.
Starting, yes.
Then the behavior they are calling red
Red
flag is
flags, yes.
we've grown from like day one, you and I. I'm not a fan of Apesi
Yes.
in the house. I'm not a fan of Apesi, but there's been three people that will prepare Apesi and then I'll eat. Number one is my mom. Number two, even number one is ourselves.
Yes.
Where we go and steal our uncles'
Yes.
plantain,
Things and
cassavas, and then
smuggle.
smuggle. Yeah. Smuggle. When we smuggle, I mean, I eat. I'm even involved in the preparation of apesi. And then when my mom prepares apesi,
Okay.
and then Nunu,
Yes.
whom I just saw today,
Super.
when Super prepares body apesi, also some correct one.
Original chef.
Apart from these people, so whenever I go to a place and they serve me apesi, I'll tell, oh no, I'm not a fan of apesi, or I will not eat apesi, or I don't eat this, and so on and so forth. But here is the same person that if Nunu prepares apesi, I'll eat. If we go for smuggle and prepare apesi, I'll eat. If my mom prepare apesi, I'll eat. However, I'm not a fan. Every other person, when they prepare, I'll not eat. So if someone tells you that he doesn't eat apesi, and then you come into this three situation, and then I'm eating apesi, does that mean I like apesi? You see that?
Yes. Those are some of
the scenarios that doesn't match up. Yes. So if somebody shouts on the wife or shouts on the lady, and then you see it as a red flag, the first thing you must ask yourself is, what did the lady do to deserve that? And what state has the guy been in? Maybe it's been piling up for a very long time. So that moment was like
blow up. People do not know the context and what is happening.
Exactly.
They just sit back and watch. But people that are in the thing, they know what is happening.
Exactly.
And maybe the one at fault even knows that, oh, this thing that I did, I deserve this. But people around and outside who do not know.
They don't know.
Yes, we just pounce and be judging and be saying stuff. And with the full thing, I think one time we went out. I went out with someone, and I think it was the first time. And I meet Miss Womami Bankuna Oku na de, but I say, girl no, if you say na first say like obi a minimum we should or say me do something foreign to say me the pizza be an that would be best in her mind. Then before I catch her and say, oh boy, oh we need to pray, oh may you cry, sin me a John, on the other guy, cry boy, may you pray. We pray a mobeji. She's I don't know if it's Western culture or whatever. That is what it is, just natural. People are just I think people have been fed negatively.
Exactly.
And it is really affecting them, and they are not willing to find out. They just move on. Oh boy, they always say, oh now boy, John, Obi, I mean, we pray now. We do Ben Queen and Kruma. You can order pizza now, guy. I get it, but bro, I mean, if I say me to be Queen and Kruma, so
I want to be comfortable.
Yes, I want to be comfortable. Sometimes there are so many things we faking that they are these flags. I don't know if they are Ghana flag or what. They are red, they are yellow, they are green. I mean, every situation is different.
Exactly.
So when you see something, it might seem say but they are totally different. So sometimes let's just go inside and try to work things out, and let's just Forget social media. Obi say means this. Obi say means this. Obi say it doesn't mean anything. Situations are different.
And the worst of it all is that charismatic churches are making it worse these
Okay.
days because they are teaching the as of my for them, they are the ones that are teaching this like why like a whole subject on itself, a whole subject like okay general arts and now home
Yeah,
economics or visual arts.
business or
They've made it that big, that huge, and each one of I was watching TV in a friend's house one day, and I was one of the churches in Kumasi, and then it was a women's fellowship, I presume, and then this house of mine she was teaching something that I had, and a woman had praised me for that. She was teaching it to be totally
wrong or
wrong
negative
and
also.
negative, and I was like, me myself, and I know it's say this is good because it's like my age and why it's not everything that I see that I'll shout on it. No, 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 no. Even if I see like if I'm working with a woman in town and then maybe the back is showing or something, instead of me telling the woman, I'd rather come and maybe put my hand
Yeah.
behind and then I mean in an action form, let a woman know that oh you are exposed at your back. And so that if we find and this one was saying only bear man now. That's how bear man which you go on to be in country say which you go on bear man when you
Ɔnyɛ papa.
when your papa want to me why now why any JP and him when you bear man now when you bear man or home nessa or befia on kasa or kokroma on kasa yes or to boom. That's like really.
Expectation from men are too much.
And then there is Royal House Chapel International. There is ICGC. I mean, there are lots of these charismatic churches are making red flags practically impossible not to have
Sure.
because every behavior, everything that you do is now a red flag.
I mean, and we are also human. So these are some petty mistakes that are there we do. For instance, to say there's this issue that say if you have it is red flag to or it is not advisable to come for your wife from Ghana to abroad or your husband if you have a husband here, you don't need to come pick him wherever you are. And I think of course, there have been situations and there have been instances, but there's also been positive um, examples, like someone coming for the partner and they've lived successfully.
Yeah,
Then again, there's also the story that a lot of people has also come to pick their lovers from Africa to Europe, America, wherever, and they left them and even got them into trouble. So if you look at the stories, it can be positive and it can be negative. So you can't
it's
just
50-50.
50-50. You can't just judge that. Oh, I mean, you know yourself, you know your situation. So I think we shouldn't just, judge on people's stories. Sometimes you have to take precautions and, be careful. But Fifi, who need me? Misu minimo. You know that ABR, hey, the Sapi, or Baha, maybe Nani Ninja. Atasi, Misu
Yeah,
minim baby, I make say, Fifi had them a free Fifi sombra. Nenenenje. So
exactly.
you know your partner. So you know that wait them you go to why them and things happen though which are not to me say in judge say okay obey me and she's going to be with me. So I just think that this red flags, of course, we need to take precautions, but it shouldn't eat into us so much that any little thing yes I say put in made the oh Mayor John as I say, Mayor John is one from Mahama, from you, ma. What else? Mayor John. But
Charlie,
I mean, I think we should just communicate, and make things work. We shouldn't just, judge on stories and stuff. And I mean, if you try and try and try, then okay. But if you just, oh, we cry, what's it will be? You say, if somebody does this, it means red flag. If a guy does this, it is this. If a lady does this, it means this. Da 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 da. Then we can't
even
even pick anyone.
most of the things they're calling red flags na nkasa no, Charlie. Oh, yeah,
Non-fat, just yes, like
nyansa
I don't even
bia
understand why. I mean,
nyansa
if we
bia
are to pick all these things, like we commit most of this red flags as a human.
and then because they have said this is a red flag you need to do, most of the guys them in an effort not to do exactly that thing. Then they do another wrong one. You see, because
That can be
nipa no,
even worse.
me share my wife. I ask, are you a fan of preparing banku? She said yes, even though she's an average. But I intentionally asked, are you a fan of preparing banku? Because me, I can eat banku morning, afternoon, evening, night, dawn. And she said,
bro, Molina,
she said her favorite is apple. I said, okay, I've been eating banku because it's the easiest food. It's the food that I can eat, whether it is cold or hot or not very hot because but then I can eat whether it is 1 day or 2 day or 1 week old or 1 month old, I can eat. Okay. And, you know, then I said, Kokunte.
Kunt.
Face the wall. You pull my favorite food.
My goddess.
Because so when after asking all those questions, my wife asked, only in Japan, so I said, thank you. It's been a woman. No, you my favorites. Oh no.
That is so hard.
But then the point that I'm trying to arrive at is that just because my wife is an Ewen didn't mean that she had to be an expert in preparing kokunte and benku and so on and so forth. Okay, so I could have I could have gone straight and then said, what is your favorite food, or are you good at in the kitchen? I could have asked a direct question. Then I went indirectly. Because of these red flags and you see people asking rather the wrong questions.
Of course.
Because they are afraid, say, Obani will go for. Because why Obani man corner and it be cry on gym too. And you don't want to mess up, you don't want to get the lady
yourself.
And you are not yourself.
You can't be yourself. I mean, if I lie to you and I pretend and we get into a relationship and you see my real self,
exactly.
It's not, it's not good. People should be themselves.
You should be yourself.
Red flags, Ghana flag, you're red, good. BBL.
I wonder which.
We shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't be say social media. You are experiencing your life. You are the master of your life. Whatever it is,
you are the captain of your boat. You direct.
Experience it. Then you can talk about it.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think sometimes we have to forgo so many things. Okay, whatever happens, let's do it. Sometimes it might even work. Sometimes these times there are intentions and crofudiko relationship. Mobi betuma bese boy, betuma bese me uncle no. I know this guy. He's very rich. Until yenye word na me for mo na boni do. Yenjin is Canada. However, that is the intention. But the person will go and realize, oh, guy, or a good dude, and then they are in love, and they will marry, and then they will have a successful. So and some CC. So let's not just ensure say if you do this, it's red flag. If you do this, of course, these are certain things. If there are things we need to work on, let's just work